Welcome back to Cleveland's Biggest Diehards, the podcast for diehard and Cleveland professional sports fans. I am Joe Stoner. Here with us is our producer who makes all the shit possible, Jeff. And our guy with all the takes, James, is not here with us remotely.
Wait, and let's hear it for our guy with all the takes, James.
Actually, a moment of silence for our guy with all the takes, James. He was emotionally unavailable after this game today.
Honestly, I think we're pretty emotionally unavailable, but we're here.
If you want to see any of James's overreacted Sunday takes, follow him on Twitter at James_CBD to get all of his overreactions. We probably would have overreacted like this, or like he did, if we would have turned these microphones on after the game, but we've had a few hours to reflect.
Yeah. Watched a couple other games. Hey, on the plus side, the Steelers and the Ravens lost today, so that's the silver lining of this Sunday. And the meatball subs were killer.
You know,
Let's talk about the highlights today.
All right, let's
Joe.
talk about the highlights. Yeah. Yes,
let's keep it positive in here.
For those of you that don't know, our producer over here, Jeff, is an excellent cook. He made. I thought I had on Do Not Disturb. My bad, folks. My bad. He should know we're probably recording during this. Shout out to Jake for FaceTiming during this segment. But Jeff is an excellent cook. And he whipped up these meatball subs in like no time, guys.
I was running late. I was like, lines were long at Giant Eagle. He got there late, you know.
He was prepping this stuff during kickoff, like during the first drive.
I missed the first drive. So
I mean, though, having those in my stomach at halftime to like sort of sop up the beer and sadness that I already had going in Tide, even though I was feeling good going into halftime. All right, let's just go.
But not as good as we should have felt.
Let's start with our new segment for the Cleveland Browns football season. The new segment is time for the airing of fanatical grievances. Jeff, since you are the only one other than myself, because somebody was emotionally unavailable for this show, after we said we weren't going to take any other time off after losses, Jeff, it's time for your airing of fanatical grievances. What grievances do you have with this game or with the Cleveland Browns after this game? Air out your fanatical grievances.
The defense, man. I think you were a little drastic with what you was calling for Joe Woods' head, but we got to change something. This running zone, the whole game when they're running 12 times in a row, what's that about? You know?
I'm going to let you just keep airing them out. I'm not going to stop you.
And special teams, man. All right, I can't complain about offense, but special teams. That play with Ronnie Harrison when the ball bounces on the punt and it's heading for inside the 5 and he grabs it at the 8. Let that thing go. I mean, and then you see what happens on the next play. They get a 50-yard with the penalty and get down the field and score.
Well, to add to that point, we saw what happened in the Packers game later on that day, where they let the ball roll when it took a good bounce, and they had the Patriots pinned inside the 5 at the 2-yard line.
And who won that game? The Packers.
Okay.
Little things like that, especially when we're playing teams this tight. Like all 4 of our games have been close games, up down to the wire in true Cleveland Brown fashion. But when you're playing games this tight, those little fuck ups will kill you, man. And it's why I'm sitting here rolling this joint right now.
There's a lot of, and I've called out you degenerates on Cleveland Browns Twitter before. Look, Kevin Stefanski is an aggressive / conservative play caller, if that makes any sense. It makes sense to you diehard Browns fans like us when I say that sentence. There are times when you're like, go for it, when you should, and he doesn't. And there are times when he doesn't go for it when he should, and he kicks or punts. I have no problem with that because it's the way the NFL is played nowadays and the way our offense is rolling, and we have a quarterback that's competent enough. And I don't care what the rest of you have to say. I guess now, did you have any other airing of fanatical grievances?
I'm sure I'll have some come up over.
Well, I guess this is the segment. We're just gonna keep going. These are
this whole episode might.
We're gonna air our fanatical grievances
that
here.
Might just be the
Jacoby
title.
Brissett is still the answer, you guys. It's not his fault that for some reason we were running all these bunched formations with the screen being the primary object of what we were doing. Why?
Yeah.
Why on this defense where I told you multiple times in the second half, that middle of the field was open. And Amari Cooper was running a one-on-one most of the game.
He was open. I had him on fantasy too.
The second half was very odd. The whole game was called odd. And
yeah,
I can't really put this was one of those games where and let's also factor in that we didn't have Myles Garrett or Jadeveon Clowney, and
I will say,
thoughts, prayers, and love
yes,
to Myles Garrett and the passenger inside of that vehicle.
That
we
was scary.
we love you. We hope everything is well, and we hope you heal, and we hope you're back on the field and you're back at whatever profession you do, that passenger, as soon as possible and in full 100% mental capacity without, don't rush anything back.
You're a human first, football player second.
Human first, football player / whatever that human does as a profession.
Glad.
I don't want to like overshadow the passenger. You know what I mean? Like they deserve the same amount of love as Myles Garrett. So like, I hope you're back to work and doing whatever you do in the same amount of time it takes Myles to be back on the football field. So we love the both of you as Cleveland sports fans, and we hope you're back doing whatever you need to be doing in your regular day-to-day lives soon. Don't ever rush it back.
Yeah.
This means more than wins and losses.
For sure.
But speaking of wins and losses,
but speaking about the D-line, I thought that the guys that had to play in their place stepped up and they played good. It was
shout out the rookies.
It wasn't the players; it was the scheme. The scheme fucked us this week, and it's been fucking us honestly this whole season. But our offense has been playing well enough to keep us in the ball game.
How many more years of the Joe Woods zone do we have to see? When they started, man, they made Marcus Mariota look like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson combined today. Just like they made Joe Flacco look like an elite.
Week after week of making average quarterbacks look fucking elite.
It's just odd. Everything about, like, what I was saying about the Pittsburgh Steelers last week is what I'm going to say about the Browns this week. It's odd. Everything about the game plan was odd. So much bunch. David Njoku needs to hold on to that football there. I've got some stuff written down. Hang on a second. I've got the screens and the bunch formations. That just a ton of short routes, ton of little crossers over what? I don't watch a lot of Atlanta Falcons games, so the coaches definitely saw something that I didn't because they watch way more film than I do.
And the play in the red zone when we got down there running, and then you said, "Damn, they should do play action here," and they had Harrison Bryant rolling out to the right. The route was open, but Brissett didn't take the ball.
Jeff is talking about the third quarter when we had the ball inside the Falcons' 3-yard line and Nick Chubb lined up at fullback and we had number 72 in as running back and he motioned in on the pre-play to block as an extra tight end. I told Jeff if that play didn't work with Nick Chubb as the fullback, which it almost did, you either run it again with Nick Chubb as the fullback because Nick Chubb or Jacoby Brissett,
odds are high,
or Jacoby Brissett on a quarterback sneak can run that in.
Or his quarterback sneak game is
or because you have Nick Chubb in there and the defense was already out there ready for it, run a play action pass, and Jacoby's good at that, where he pulls it right out of Nick Chubb's breadbasket, and I guarantee you Harrison Bryant was there for the 6 points in that third quarter when there was nobody to throw to. And you know what? Shout out Jacoby Brissett, and on that touchdown that he did when he ran it in, he had a couple Chris Berman. He did a couple of those to get in there. Look, folks, he's not bad. Other than what our guy with the takes is going to say on Twitter, Jacoby is a way better option than what we could have right now. I guarantee you that. It's a sad, sad Sunday, but for some reason I was prepared for this the way our defense limped into that. But but now that I say that, there's no excuse for that. Our secondary was healthy.
Yeah.
Healthy secondary.
Man, I don't know what it is, man. Something's got to give on the defense.
Everything was weird. Everything about this game was weird. When we went into this game, I told you I had a weird feeling. I told you when I walked into your door, I was like, I have a weird feeling when I came in your door. Pause.
Pause.
And that's why I came in with so low energy on the intro of this episode, because I just can't put my finger on to why it was tied at 10 at the half.
Yeah. 0-0 coming out.
Lots of points left up on the board. Lots of points left up on the board. I just looked at my notes for a second. On a brighter note, outside of all this confusion and what the fuck was going on, Grant Delpit played some good football today.
Yeah, I was going to say, he played really good. And, I think it's just the scheme.
But what about it? What about, I think every Browns fan...
I think it's really predictable. And it's not... we need to be showing different looks and then man up. We're not manning up enough.
It's like they were trying to overcompensate for the fact that Anthony Walker wasn't out there in the middle of the field.
We just look lost.
And hey, Tiki Barber, will you please learn this man's name? Say it with me, Tiki. Jeremiah Owusu Koramoah. I'll say it again because that man deserves respect.
Yeah, put some respect on
Jeremiah Owusu Koramoah. That's his name. You better respect that future defensive player of the year, all right? Even though he might, I'm not even going to say that because I don't watch all 22 like you degenerates out there. I watch the game once, and then I watch the highlights, and then I go about my next week. Because if I mulled over week after week, I would have blown my brains out 15 years ago being a Browns fan, okay? I can't just go back and just watch what should have happened, what could have happened. I'm like the coaches. It's on the next. I'm on to LA. I'm on to LA.
Next year, man.
No, it's not next year. We've got plenty of time.
No. I ain't talking about this year. I'm just saying that's the mentality.
I really just don't understand all the Jacoby Brissett hate that I saw on my timeline. Because these are the same.
I think he deserves the game ball for this.
These are the same people that are gonna praise him when he wins. I don't understand the fair weatherness, and it's probably because those people aren't real fans to begin with.
For sure.
And
I don't know if you've noticed, Joe, but in the past couple of years, we've gotten a lot of hype fans. You know what I'm saying? Come and go fans.
Oh, speaking of those come and go fans, how did the Carolina Panthers do today?
Better yet, how did Baker do?
Did they win today?
I don't think so.
Oh yeah, that's right, they didn't.
But you know who else didn't win today?
Who?
The Steelers.
That's right.
You know who else didn't win today?
Who?
The Ravens.
Oh. You know who else didn't win today?
The Browns.
But you know who else didn't win today?
Who?
The Bengals. But that's because they played on Thursday night. And they won. Fuck. Oh, and love and thoughts to Tua Tagovailoa, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
However you're feeling right now when we're recording this on a Sunday, it's probably, but I'd be remiss if I didn't say, yo, that was crazy, and I hope you're in good health, man, good spirits.
Right.
Some things are bigger than football.
Exactly.
Some things are bigger than sports.
You're a human first.
Walking for the rest of your life is a huge thing.
Yeah.
Oh, man. This is why I didn't want to record after the Jets lost. But if we're going to be Cleveland's biggest diehards, you're going to have to hear, this is
rain or shine,
this is what pain looks like and what pain feels like.
And what it sounds like.
I've also been, slamming these Browns beers since kickoff. So it's not fun when it's slamming them for sadness, I'm just trying to go.
We need to lighten the mood, man.
Well,
why don't we talk about them Guardians, man?
Well, before we talk about them Guardians, let's talk about when we decided to go get some eggs at the local grocery store.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you tell this.
No, I want to hear it from your point of view. This happened to you.
As I've stated before, every jersey that I own, besides my Jose Ramirez Guardians jersey, has a 0 on it and it says Stoner. Well, today...
Why would it say that?
Because I'm the host of Cleveland's Biggest Diehards, the podcast for diehard Cleveland professional sports fans. Win, lose, rain, or shine, I'm on the microphone every time. You dig?
You dig?
So Jeff wants some cookies. And Jeff's significant other bakes the best chocolate chip cookies your mouths will ever taste, if you ever are lucky enough to taste these chocolate chip cookies. All we were missing were eggs. And what better way to get over a loss than to just take a quick drive, smoke a J,
get some sweets.
and get some sweets. And while we were smoking the J, little side story to the story, we were rolling around and we were pulling around off in the neighborhood, and I noticed some local Browns fans standing outside.
They looked sad.
Having a cigarette, drinking a beer, and just being...
Just looked like they were mulling over what they just watched.
Exactly. Just being exactly how we all
How we felt before we lit that J.
So I looked at Jeff, and I was like, hang on, turn the radio down real quick. And he was like, what? And I was like, watch this. And he had no idea what I was about to do.
But I quickly joined in.
And I just started the, here we go, brownies, here we go. And the guys just had no idea what I was saying until the second here we go. And they barked right back at me. Didn't matter how sad they were. They
put a smile on their face.
As soon as you hear that, you have to give back a bark. So
right.
Shout out to you local Browns fans.
Take that fucking jersey off.
Exactly. So we're rolling into the local grocery store, and we're walking around picking out our groceries. And the guy sees my jersey. And I always know when people are looking at me when I'm wearing this. I know they're trying to figure out what the 0 is, who that is. Like,
is that a real guy?
So finally, and for the people that don't believe me, I'm going to stand up on the YouTube. And for those that are just listening and not watching, please subscribe to the YouTube, Cleveland's Biggest Diehards, podcast for diehard Cleveland professional sports fans. I'm going to turn around real quick so you see the name.
Just stand up straight while you stand like that.
If you want to see how I was standing, subscribe to the YouTube, Cleveland's Biggest Diehards. And I
promise it was funny.
And this guy walks up to me and he goes, I gotta ask, is that your last name, or do you just smoke a lot of dope?
We both looked at him like...
And I was fresh off a joint, so I'm higher than giraffe pussy. And I look at him and I go, the latter. And he goes, all right, cool, and immediately bolted right to the liquor store. I hope I didn't break that guy's sobriety.
Yeah.
But that would be hilarious.
If it was.
He goes to his next AA meeting, and he's like, I just saw this guy's Browns jersey, and I just remembered that they lost as bad as they did.
Reminding him of the old times.
But it still makes me happy that, you know, through all the sadness, we Browns fans can have a twisted sense of humor through things.
Right.
It's
just gonna happen, man.
Next week against the Chargers. Are we going?
Man, I don't know. With my checking is saved up.
Man.
I got the checking and the savings. With all the savings and the checking.
I see. Man, I might just go.
Hold on, let me check my check-ins.
We're going to buy these tickets live on air right now. We might as well.
How much they going for?
I have no idea.
Probably a little less after the loss.
$100 is what last time I checked. Damn near. The screenplay is terrible. Those screens that they ran today were absolutely horrible.
Oh, yeah.
That bunch why was David Njoku is arguably the slowest guy on the field when it comes to running a play like that, and they made him do like a 7-yard behind the line of scrimmage screenplay. And that's not a shot at David Njoku. I'm just telling it like it is. When you've got Kareem, when you've got Kareem Hunt, when you've got Nick Chubb, when you've got Amari Cooper, when you've got David Bell, when you've got guys that are arguably and statistically way faster than David Njoku, why are you using David Njoku on a screen like that? David Njoku needs to be used on a screen where he's at the line of scrimmage, yard or two either way.
Like, if you're going to throw a screen, you might as well run the ball. If you're not going to throw it downfield.
We should have never lost this game. This is another one of those.
We should have never lost to the Jets.
We could be
We could easily be 4-0 right now.
And it could always be worse. It could always be worse.
Yeah, we're 500. I mean, we're bitching, but this is still
we're bitching because it's 4 games all close. We've either been winning or have had a chance to win. We haven't been getting we haven't lost a game yet.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not blatant.
I think it's entertaining football.
I will take this every Sunday.
Yeah.
That's why it's so disappointing, because it's a, you know why it feels so weird? I'm just starting to realize it. It's a new emotion us Browns fans are feeling. It's the feeling of hope for a whole game instead of just the first quarter or the first half.
But not only that, we're confident as Browns fans for the first, like we feel like we have good assets, and I feel like we're just not using everybody correctly.
That we could win every game, and it's just that we're not.
And we got to figure out the return game.
Like Jakeem Grant, get healthy, man. Please get healthy. Please get healthy. We miss you.
We're watching the game, and Joe goes, "Hey, you think Josh Cribbs got his phone?"
Yeah,
on?
Hey, Josh Cribbs, man. If you can return a few kicks this year, I mean, there's a month into the season.
He just looks at me and says, "You think Josh Cribbs still in shape?"
I hope Josh Cribbs still in shape. If he is, give him a call, Andrew Berry. Mm-hmm. Give that man a motherfucking call.
He needs the call.
Oh man. Hey, and if any of y'all got a gripe that James ain't on after a loss, please give your gripes to @James_CBD on Twitter. Because I guarantee, he needs to be here because of his takes. Them takes that he was getting off on, he was going crazy.
He was going a little crazy.
He's the opposite of what, like, me and Jeff are optimistic still on the season. James is talking about throw the whole team, and there's people on there with James talking about throw the team away. What are you talking about?
I don't know how you like.
What are you talking about?
After all the garbage football we've watched for years, we're in ball games. We've won a couple. Like we've been right there.
Blow it up and restart.
Yeah, no. This is the closest we've come to competitive football in a long time.
And the guy that we guaranteed $234 million to
still hasn't taken a snap.
Not. Yeah, there you go. What do you like, guys? 2-2 is probably the best any of us could have expected from this after 4 games into the season. The season's a quarter of the way over, almost.
That's crazy to think about.
A lot of y'all was right, and myself included, after the first episode of this podcast where I said Jacoby. I take that back. My bad, Jacoby. I love you, bro. You're playing really, really good football. Those 2 interceptions that you thrown were just desperation at the end of the game, and there's nothing you can. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, I mean, I will say he threw it to. He was in triple coverage, so somebody had to have been open on that.
He takes care of the football, and he does what's asked of him. There should have been way more Amari Cooper today.
Yeah.
Way more Amari Cooper today.
Definitely got left out in the dust.
That's the thing about this offense. Somehow there's always it's always like it's somebody's week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, this week.
What do you think about the play calling today?
Today I thought we were clicking early, and then somehow, some way, we just couldn't figure out what was working and what wasn't.
Right. I mean, you shared your griefs with the screenplays. What else bothered you today?
What more so bothered me, what really bothered me was not running a play action pass on 2nd and goal. Because if we get a touchdown on that series, and then there was because Jacoby held the football too long, and ended up being a penalty on that play that pushed us back. If we run a quick play action from Chubb and Harris, like if Harrison Bryant's open, is there. If not, Jacoby can throw the ball away quickly, or he's got more time to realize that there's nobody there because of the play action, and he can run that in for his 2nd touchdown of the day.
Yeah,
I don't understand. Even so, if you run it again with Nick Chubb, you're at the 1-yard line. That's really that's my burning river moment of the game.
Yeah, there you go.
We're going to get into our burning river moment. We've already aired out enough grievances. We're going to do the burning river moment. We'll get to the beer break, and we'll talk to the Guardians, because I have some big news to tell you. I still haven't told you. I've told you since I walked through this door. Well, my burning river moment was that. On that drive in the red zone in the 3rd quarter, when we could have hindsight's 2020, but when you look at it 2020, that probably would have sealed it, because we would have had a touchdown and we would have been down Atlanta's neck, and the way the defense played coming out of halftime, forcing 3 and out, or might not have been like that, but we got the football back a bunch of times because we made them punt on the first half. That probably would have helped, Jacoby settle in, and we could have ran the football more. Yep. That's what I don't really understand about the play calling today. You've got the best running back combo in the league. I don't know how many times and how many podcasts and how many national media outlets have to say it. Use them, and use them correctly.
Right.
2nd and goal should have been a play action pass.
Yeah, I agree.
Your Burning River
My
moment?
Burning River moment would have to be the play the Falcons had after they got the ball down inside the 10-yard line at the end of the game and threw a 30-yard pass, and the cherry on top of a flag, so it made it like a 53-yard play.
Yep.
And that just completely, we had them backed up a good field position for us, and then completely flipped the field in one play. And that ended the game right there. Because then they were able to go down, score, and win.
And why was Dearness Johnson returning kicks at the end of the game?
That was weird.
Jerome Ford started the game.
I thought he did a great job last week.
It just feels like there's something needs to change somewhere, and we need to change it quickly. Or else we're down a road that we don't really need to be on. Or that we don't need to be on. There's no reason to be on it.
We can't get to Deshaun Watson and then hope that he's going to bring us back from death. We have to be walking in the door in good hands.
And there's no reason for the death. Like we've said multiple, that we should be a 4-0 football team.
Yeah, very easily.
Well, we're going to keep recording no matter what happens, but this is what you're going to get after a loss. Not a lot of energy. Hopefully talking about the Guardians after this beer break brings me up.
Yeah, you got to get woken up a little bit. Talk about your guards.
Well, I mean, it's sad, man. It's just what it is. I feel nothing but pain and sadness, and I'm going to feel nothing but pain and sadness until about Wednesday, Thursday, probably. Because the Guardians playoffs start on Friday, so I'm probably just going to be sad till then. Nothing the Guardians do for the rest of the regular season is going to make me happy about this Browns loss. And that's we
can't dwell on it, though,
that's
especially as a team.
Look, that's the NFL, baby. That's football, baby. That's why this league is a son of a bitch. We're all addicted to it, and we love it.
Yep.
All right, let's get to the beer break. Shout out to me. Shout out to Jeff.
Shout out James.
Well, at James_CBD. He was emotionally unavailable after this game. Hopefully he's emotionally available after the next one because we won it. Mr. Only shows up for
But
those.
even if... Don't be a fair weather fan, James.
Oh, he's not a fair weather fan. I give him kudos because I did the same thing with the Jets game.
Yeah.
I could have came over here and recorded after
Definitely
I got
could've.
home, but some games take too much out of you. And if I know our guy,
I had some shit to say after that Jets game, but this game is just it was very easily won. I mean, so was that Jets game.
and I'm just busting James's balls. That's all I'm doing. I'm just sad, man.
All right, we gotta go to this beer break, get Joe better spirits.
All right, yeah. Let's get to it. Welcome to the beer break on this dismal week 4 where the Browns are 2-2. I'm joined by the very first guest on this beer break, our producer who makes all this shit possible. Jeff decided to join me.
Fuck.
And there's only one thing to do, Jeff, on this losing week, no matter what week it is. He's beating me to it.
Just drink a beer, man. It's a beer break. Just get back to the fucking show.
You heard the man. Let's get back to the fucking show. This has been the beer break on Cleveland's Biggest Diehards, the podcast for diehard Cleveland professional sports fans. Cheers, go Browns, go Guards, go Cavs. Welcome back from that beer break. This is Cleveland's Biggest Diehards, the podcast for diehard Cleveland professional sports fans. One thing I do want to say before we leave the Browns is that the Browns are killing those posters that they put out on social media to promote the games. Every week so far has been fantastic. But to pivot over to our American League Central Division champion Cleveland Guardians, James and I were at the game Saturday for Fan Appreciation Night, and coincidentally happened to see Mustard, the hot dog, win his first hot dog derby race.
Oh, let's go Mustard.
Win his first hot dog derby race. And it was, I tell you what, it was a stinker
So
of a...
he's what, 1 in 120?
I have no idea what the record is, but after the stinker of the game that got put up Saturday night when Plesac pitched, there was a lot of young guys playing in that game, which everything right now is about rotation and who you can use and who you could sign. And Bo Naylor, Josh Naylor's little brother, made his major league debut last night. I got to see it.
Oh wow.
His first plate appearance as a catcher, I mean, his first time up as a catcher, his first throw out, he got him. It's from throwing from home plate to second base on a guy stealing. He caught him stealing.
Hell yeah.
So, future is bright.
How much
man.
younger is he?
He's not too much younger than Josh, and Josh's number is 22. So Bo made his 44.
Oh, that's dope.
So and they batted back to back today in the lineup. Bo was DHing and Josh was playing first, and Josh batted before Bo.
That's really special, man.
Hey, Tito knows how to make a motherfucker choke up when watching a baseball game late when it don't really mean much.
This lineup.
Fan appreciation night was sweet. Shout out the Cleveland Guardians for making I'm still down. Do you hear this?
Yeah, I hear it, man.
Do you hear this energy? This is terrible. I should be so much more excited.
You should. Yeah, it doesn't sound
because
like
I am Cleveland's biggest Guardian, and everything about last night was dope. The atmosphere was awesome. The $2 beers that they were serving were ice fucking cold, and you could not have asked for better atmosphere. Mustard winning his first race was incredible. I can't believe I was coincidentally there. After all the shit I've talked on this podcast, it just felt like a fucking storybook moment.
Hell yeah, man.
And I will also be in attendance for the Game 1 wild card playoff game on Friday.
Nice.
I got tickets, and I saw how much they were, and I was like, oh, James is coming with me. I don't care what he's got going on.
Really,
so,
fuck it, you're
dude,
coming, motherfucker.
$84 sitting in the bleachers. I couldn't believe it.
Damn.
And it took me like 3 times to get a ticket.
They wouldn't go through.
So the cheapest ticket was $69. I'm like, oh my god, bet, because I told myself under 200, I'm there.
Yeah,
Why not? Gotta go.
Right,
gotta go. So I get 2 tickets. Boom. Get to the checkout. Seats unavailable.
Yeah.
Shit. Let me relog back in. Get 2 more tickets in a different section. Boom. Seats unavailable. Well, let me go to the bleachers because I know that's what the last section everybody's gonna think of because it's the last section I decided to think of.
Right.
Got them. It's the only right I stay in the bleachers. Cleveland's biggest bleacher bum. Back in the bleachers for the playoff game. So I can't wait. Shane Bieber's going to be on the mound. I've never been to a Cleveland professional sports playoff game. So that I gotta really shout out this podcast for that, man. This podcast has really made me re-fall in love with Cleveland baseball, even though, like, James told me last night, he was like, I think the Guardian, like, the Cleveland baseball team has always been your favorite team no matter what. Yeah, and I'm like, so. I think so.
I think it's true. Yeah.
So I'm even though I don't sound like it right now, I'm really, really, really excited I might actually like shed a tear when I feel that energy and just see how packed it is and how loud it's gonna get. Like I hope that whoever we're playing, Emmanuel Clase is up there in the top of the ninth to close the game out. So I can hear those claps and just feel everything that I felt from watching it through a TV screen my whole life. Like that shit's gonna be really, really special. And I've been meaning to buy a home Guardians cap with the red bill, but I'm gonna hold out if we go to the World Series. I want us to have the World Series patch because I was gonna get a postseason patch, but nah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. I want it to have a World Series patch. We're near the end of the road, man. They just won their 90th game today. 90 and 69. They have a possibility of finishing with 93 wins. I mean, there's a baseball team on the corner of Carnegie and Ontario that are playing really, really good ball. And even though we're all depressed about the football team, the baseball team deserves and needs your support, man. There's a lot of changes coming up with the renovations. And I will say this about the renovations coming. We should add a retractable dome to Progressive Field. It was super windy last night.
I agree with that.
It was super windy last night, and on top of all the rain delays that we've had this year, all the postponements that resulted in double headers and what was already a shortened season. Like the Guardians led the league in double headers this year.
I believe it.
And don't make it roof, make it a retractable dome because there's nothing better than a summertime game in Cleveland. Right. Like you can have the dome off or the roof off for 4 months out of the year, right. But when it's March, April, even early May, when it's still shitty as hell in Northeast Ohio, it would be nice to have baseball still being played and not having to reschedule really nice games and do it and you could still have grass. You could still do it. Like I'll always say Progressive Field is the best ballpark in America because it's my favorite place on earth.
Hell yeah, man.
But that should be and how windy it was last night, and it resulted in the fireworks not being displayed.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
man.
pissed. I wanted to watch a fireworks show.
The
I could
dollar
have
dogs,
stayed in my.
though.
Oh my god, fam! I had like 6 or 7.
You get you any Dippin' Dots?
Nah, I'm not a big sweets guy.
Oh, man. You know me.
I know
I've
you.
been on them Dippin' Dots.
I seen the cart though. The cart was going around.
What cart?
The Dippin' Dots cart.
Oh, yeah.
They had a cart going around.
Always there.
Man, they fan appreciated it up, man. I goddamn these Cleveland Browns. I'm always so happy to pod. I'm always so happy to get right into it, and I'm always so happy to do. But it's like, man, all you had to do was just game plan a little better. And Stefanski took that fucking L, and he said it in the press conference. It's like, man, how many times are we gonna hear you go up to that microphone and say the same old fucking
This one's on me.
this one's on me. I'm on the next week. We have to just fix it and move forward. You said that for 3 years. And I like Stefanski. I think he's a good coach, but man, it's like, bro, pretend you're playing Madden. You've got the best team. Yeah. You're playing a computer. They're not going to stop you. The Falcons ran the ball 12 consecutive times from the third to fourth quarter.
Zone each time.
Each time. Couldn't figure it out. That's why I say fire Joe Woods. Jeff, it's 3 years of the same shit. Yeah. The zone coverage early on. I came on this microphone the episode before, and I was like, Joe, why are you playing that zone so early? When they put pressure on Marcus Mariota, just like when they put pressure on Mitch Trubisky last week, it worked. The defense got off the field. Yeah. Then when he went back to the zone coverage, nothing happened. The Falcons moved the football. Get out. Bye. See you later.
Yeah, man.
Enough is enough. And you don't use the excuse about not having Myles Garrett or Jadeveon Clowney because those young boys played their ass off.
Yeah, they did. But I think Myles was missed for sure.
100%. The Terminator's always going to be missed when he's not out there.
Yeah. But you're right. They did step up in his place in Clowney's.
And I'm trying to figure out the words because this is why I started this podcast, to get out all these grief. And I'm sorry to the Cleveland Guardians. Like, Tito Francona, manager of the year, you guys have been balling out. It's the end of the season. We're going to the playoffs. I'm just ready for the playoffs. But, man, Stefanski, quit ruining my fucking Sundays. I swear to God. Like, why? I will never understand, and I guess fans everywhere, their favorite team will never understand why it's so hard to call plays. Why it's so hard to package shit, why it's so hard to get certain things into certain situations. I will, and this is the 10th episode of this podcast. We should be rolling. Like, we're in double digits now. We've air horns and fucking partying, bro. But here we are, 2-2, which, like I said before, it ain't bad. I just can't believe that we lost to the Atlanta Falcons.
I still can't believe we lost to the Jets.
2 teams where any given Sunday anything is possible.
I feel like that Jets game might haunt us.
Oh, stop it. You and your fucking turning points of the game. This guy, ever since I've known him, whenever we were playing Madden, if I missed an extra point, he'd be like, oh, that looks like the turning point of this game. And it probably would be, more than likely. So now he's brought that into our real life with the Browns. And
no, I think I'm just fucked around. I think we'll be all right. I'm in the dumps too, man. The energy's low. The vibrations are low.
It's just not fun. It's just not. This is. At least we're not the Steelers.
That's all I could say.
At least we're not the Pittsburgh Steelers.
We're still not the Steelers.
At least we're not the Pittsburgh Steelers.
At least we're not last in the division. That's the bonus of, I guess, the silver lining of our 2 losses is that the first loss, everybody else in the division lost, and then this loss, Baltimore and Pittsburgh loses. So,
man, The Atlanta Falcons.
This episode is going to be called Deep Breaths and what'd you say, fan?
What is it's called airing of fanatical grievances.
Yeah.
Deep breaths in the airing of fanatical grievances.
Yeah.
You're 2-2 Cleveland Browns.
Yep.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know what much else I can say other than I'm excited for the playoffs. The Guardians. Cavs preseason kicks off on Wednesday.
Yeah, we got any Cavs news? Preseason starts
on Wednesday. They had their media day. The more and more they take pictures in those white jerseys, the more and more I like them. Yeah, preseason kicks off in Philadelphia on Wednesday. Guardians got 3 more games with the Royals before the playoffs kick off on Friday, and we still have no idea who we're playing. It's either going to be the Tampa Bay Rays, Seattle Mariners, or the Toronto Blue Jays.
Who do you think it's going to be?
I have no idea.
There's no way to know.
I would hope for either Toronto or Tampa Bay because we just won a 3-game series with Tampa Bay this past week, and we beat the dog shit out of the Blue Jays all season. So I don't want to play Seattle because they're coming off the momentum of getting into the playoffs for the first time since 2001.
So they're riding off that.
Yeah, but Cal Quantrill, the Tampa Bay Rays had a shot to clinch a spot in the wild card by beating us, and Cal Quantrill the Guardians didn't let that happen, and Cal was like, yeah, we didn't want them to celebrate in our stadium in our locker room.
Hell yeah.
So if they felt that way about a team like clinching a spot in the playoffs, imagine how they're going to feel about a team like moving on.
Right.
Like, no, they're not. Like,
for sure.
Yo, like I've told y'all all year, and since this podcast has been a thing, if you ain't on that bandwagon, jump on, because I promise you, them cats feel like they can beat anybody. Unlike our Cleveland Browns that decide to just, that's not fair, man. Them guys play hard.
Yeah.
It's not their fault that their coach, Stefanski be better. And I know you can be. And we're coming up on a Los Angeles Chargers team that's a bit banged up. I think they won today. I'm not sure exactly. Don't really care to look it up, even though I have an iPad in front of me. I feel like this episode is about to end, and I'm going to end it right now because I'm the host of the show.
All right.
And this has been the 10th air horn, clap, gunshot, celebrate, crack a champagne bottle, 10 episodes. Yeah, we did it. Woo. Browns lost to the Falcons today. This has been Cleveland's Biggest Diehards, the podcast for diehard Cleveland professional sports fans. Hi, I'm Joe Stoner. He is Jeff, the producer that makes all of this shit possible. Say something.
All right. Here we go, brownies. Here we go.
And we will see y'all next week.
The best episode.
People are going to be like, what the fuck happened to these guys?
They were such nice guys, and now they're just all
They were
dumb.
so happy for 9
They
episodes.
had so much hope.